Everyone, I trust you are doing fine. How has your day been? If you can hear me, please give me a thumbs up or put something in the chat so that I'll be sure my microphone is working very fine. Okay, thank you very much for that thumbs up. So I believe and I know that you can hear me. Good, good, good. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Lovely, lovely, wonderful. Thank you very much. Okay, let me allow you put a face to the name. Okay, my name is Tayo Olatimileyin. I'm going to be the coach tonight, and it's good to have all of you on the call tonight, and I'm sure you're going to have a very wonderful time. Okay, let's kick off. I think it's 2 minutes past now. I would have said we should give a few more people the chance to join us, but we can just start with the housekeeping and then they will join us as we progress. So if you're housekeeping, number one thing I want to say is that there is no stupid question. Okay, every question is valid because that question you're asking is based on your context of what is going on with you, or it could be you are asking the question on behalf of somebody, and that is equally valid. So whatever the question is, feel free to ask your question. That's number one. You can put the question in the chat, or I can unmute you. You can ask the question through using your audio, and that's also allowed. If you want to ask the question using your audio, that's okay. And then and what else do I need to say? It's being recorded. I want us to be here till the end of the training, but again, it's being recorded for us to be able to listen to again and again, because repetition is the way you learn. A lot of things I will say today might be just over your head, but when you go back to listen to it again and again, you will be able to comprehend it more and know the next step that you're supposed to take in this particular journey. Okay, it's the title for today is Building Wealth While You Still Working 9 to 5. And again, you might be a business owner, you are self-employed. I've tried to capture as many pictures as possible of people who probably are self-employed and whatever it is. Whether you are Locumi, you are a contractor, you're self-employed, you're a small business owner, you are in a 9 to 5 job, I think broadly it's still within the same category. We all kind of work for money. Okay, you are still exchanging your time for money. If you don't go to your bakery, or you don't do that cooking in a particular weekend, you don't make money because you are a sole proprietor. You are a sole trader, and so this training also applies to you. And so let's kick off. Today, I'll be showing you how you can build wealth while working your 9 to 5 job so that you can retire early and retire comfortably. So it's about you being able to build wealth, because not everybody is actually cut out to be an entrepreneur. I think that is a fact of the matter, as I will be explaining as we go. Not all of us will build a multi-million dollar or pound company. It's not like you're not good enough. We all have our capabilities and what we can do, but maybe not everybody will have the opportunity of building a multi-million dollar company. Okay, but today I'll be showing us how we can do that, where we are now, how we can start doing that. And today's discussion is for just presentation only and should not be construed as investment advice. Investment can go up in and down in value, and the past performances is not an indication of future performance. So do consult your financial advisor before you make any major financial decision. That out of the way, I'm required to say that anytime we talk about money, because we talk about money a lot today, I have to put that disclaimer out there. Okay, let's kick off. A little bit about the company. KWC Global Institute is dedicated to coaching you on leadership and empowerment. And this will help you to achieve profitability in every area of your life. Another way to say this is to say we coach on what is called LEAP, leadership empowerment, to achieve profitability in your career, spiritually, in business, in investing. We do that. And this is social media and you must have registered from this particular website. And this is our social media handle. Please follow us. There are other content that you will gain from from Instagram or from YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, the same handle across all social media. And these are some of the trainings we do, like the training you are on today is part of winning with money or building wealth for generation. It's still part of that same training. We have the master class, and then we have a career development training that we also do from time to time. And about me, quickly, I am a transformation and change consultant and have over 20 years experience working in private sector and public sector. A lot of that within the UK, and hold a master's in business strategy, leadership, and change. And in digital transformation, I have a certificate in that. I first of all regard myself as an investor. I coach, but I practice what I coach. So you are not here to hear theory today. You are here to listen to exactly the things I am doing to build wealth. I'm also a minister of the gospel. Uh, and again, next thing about my experience is the fact that I started my journey out trading the markets. When I say trading, it means I trade S&P 500, I trade stock, I trade currency, I traded currency and stock in the past. And that was around, started from 2006. But I stopped doing that around 2012, 2013, thereabout. And I started to invest. And so it's been a journey of I would say 2 decades, so to speak. But what I will explaining today is about investing. So stay with me. Along the line, I would say one or two differences between the two of them, but we are here to learn about investing. So the first thing I want to say, I don't know which country we are from. I'm not a bulk of us are from the United Kingdom. We are advertised this training. We live in a capitalist economy. I think that is the first point I want to make today. And I want that to seek in into our subconscious that I live in a capitalist economy. When you live in the Western world, the economy is largely sustained through credit or taxation. So that credit by individuals borrowing money, okay, to buy things, either to buy houses, to buy cars, to go shopping, whatever it is, the economy is run or sustained through credit system. Unlike what is obtainable back in developing countries, example like Africa, where everything is cash and carry. So a cash and carry economy is almost there are drawbacks to that, but again, when it comes to personal finances, it's kind of better than when you have the credit economy, which is what we have here. And another thing that runs the economy is taxation. Government keep taxing and increasing taxes every year. A new tax is being introduced almost every 3 months or thereabout. One way or the other, it could be subtle. You might not know that you are being taxed, but one way or the other, something is coming out of your pocket to increase the ever expanding or to fund the ever expanding government budget. And so you need to be aware of that, or else you will be a pawn in the game of chess that is going on in the Western economy. And when you talk about living in a capitalist economy, it's a place where the economic system is largely in private hand. Even though in this country, United Kingdom, we have the welfare system, but the welfare system is not for everybody. It's still for some class of people. Generally, businesses are in the hands of private individuals, and they do it to make money. So banks are in business to make profits. Credit card companies are in business to make profits. Retail organizations, car sale organizations, they are all in business to make profit. And I put something here. I said, what are the means of production? In economies and in commerce, you'll be taught that land, raw material, machinery, factories, tools, and infrastructures are what are means of production. But there's something here which is missing, and that is you and I. Labor is also part of that means of production. And to that capitalist, you are just a means of production. And so it's to use and then for them to make profit. So let us be aware of that as I go. And I'll tell you the reason why you need to be aware of that. And the next thing I'm going to show as an icebreaker is this video. Let me share my computer audio so that we can hear the audio from this particular video. Share sound. Yep. So I'm sharing my sound now. You should be able to hear the sound from my computer now. I'll play, then I will explain the images that you have around it. So let's have a listen. It's like
I want to quickly share with you a concept I learned during the week called Pyramid of Wealth by Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. The base of this pyramid are those who are in financial crisis. This level represents those who are without any source of income. They depend on handouts and generosity of others to survive. And next to this are those who are financially unstable, who have a source of income, but their take home is not anywhere close to what they need to meet basic needs of life. They live perpetually on personal loans and credit cards in order to augment their income. And next to them in the middle are those who are financially stable. These are the middle to lower upper class people. They have good jobs, they earn decent income, they drive good cars, they probably have a house on a mortgage, they can afford to go on holidays, etc. These are the most deceived set of people in this triangle because if they're out of job, they become financially unstable within 90 days. They have little or no savings, no income generating assets. They are actually 60 to 90 days from becoming homeless because the banks will come after them in no time. A lot of the so-called big boys and big girls are in this category. And number 4 in the triangle is financial independence. People at this level have enough assets to take care of their needs. They earn passive income from businesses and investment that is equal to or more than what they get from their day job if they still have a day job. They can choose not to work anymore. They have time freedom. And at the peak of this pyramid is financial freedom. At this level, you can take care of your needs and wants and even take care of thousands of people. You can make impact at a larger scale and give away millions and billions without stress. Which level are you? In order to move from one level to another, a new body of knowledge, a shift in mindset, and association is required. This got me thinking.
So I'm going to stop you there. I hope you. So a question was asked: where are you on this pyramid of wealth? Now, this is the way the structure is in developing country. When you're in developing country, there is really the base of the triangle is so massive, and that is where we have a lot of people probably who are in poverty or in financial crisis. But as you move on, you now have the 1% of the 1% at the peak of the pyramid. And the middle class is really they are middle lower. There's no middle upper class. But when it comes to the Western economy, it's a diamond shape. It's not actually it's not a rectangular shape. This it's a diamond shape. You have people at the bottom of the pyramid who are probably on benefits, who are probably jobless, who are one way or the other, they are out of employment. They do not make any income at all. But thanks to the welfare system in a country like this, they are almost some of them are actually better than people in the middle. Okay, but then we also have the peak of the pyramid where you have those who are financially independent, people who are entrepreneurs, who are business owners, or who have inherited some wealth in one way or the other. These are the 10% or the very few people within the Western economy. They are super rich. They don't pay as much taxes, unfortunately, as people in this particular middle of the pyramid, where we have a bulk of people who are working class people. A lot of people within this area of this diamond, they are unstable financially. Some are stable, but like the video said, is that people who are financially stable are the most deceived part of this particular structure, because they believe as long as salary is coming in, they are good. They can pay their car loan, they can pay their house rent, they can pay their mortgages, they can even go on holiday as long as the credit card is still there, their credit record is very fine, they can borrow money at any time they need it. they believe that they are financially stable. But a 90-day crisis, being out of job for 3 months, for 6 months, we tip them off balance. And then before you know it, become financially unstable, or they are in financial crisis. And I know a bulk of us, including myself, belongs to this middle class. And we need to work our way up to financial independence, then up to financial freedom. And at the end of that video, it says you need a new body of knowledge, a shift in your mindset, a new association to be able to move from being here or be here to moving up into this 10% or the 1% of the 1% or the 10% of the economy. And when you get here, there are a lot of benefits of you paying less taxes, of you being able to write off your taxes through expenses and other means that people within this middle class cannot do. And that is what you need to understand when you live in a capitalist economy, that being a middle class person is not the best. You pay the most taxes. In fact, we in the middle class, we are like the oil that, you're like that grease that oils the economy, the wheel of the economy, for the economy to keep growing. And so there's a need for you to
I want to quickly
and move on into being in that top level where you are financially independent and you're financially free. Okay, and that's what we are looking at today. So I want to pay attention and follow me to the end of this particular coaching. So I talked about transgenerational wealth here, that for us, I think I've used this slide in the church before, and so you have a lot of scriptures in it. So for those who are not Christian, just follow me. There are principles to learn from them. So here, think beyond yourself. I think that's the first principle I will talk about today. Think transgenerationally. Think before, if you are thinking just for yourself, you are setting a too low goal for yourself. When you think beyond yourself, then the goal is higher. And in trying to reach the sun, you might end up reaching the star, which will give you a comfortable retirement, or a very comfortable future as an individual, and also leaving something behind at the end of the day. So think beyond yourself. And so when I talk a lot about the generational wealth. Why generational wealth? Because it is the will of God to prosper us, for you to have a comfortable retirement, and for you to take responsibility, because God won't do for you what you can do for yourself, and for self-leadership, because your background does not count. Once you cross to 2025, you are now the background. You can't blame where you're coming from again for your poverty, and you can't even blame the government, because at that point you now have access to knowledge. You are now being empowered by how much you make, for you to be able to move beyond where you used to be before. And it's stewardship. God will only give you what you can manage and not what you ask for. And then it's you putting to work the law of seed and harvest. So that's the law that rules this universe. Whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are Hindu, you are atheist, you are agnostic, whatever your affiliation or belief is, the law of seed and harvest is what runs and sustains this world. And I'll explain that to us in a little bit. And then you giving the next generation a pedestal to start and to stand on. And then as a good person, you are leaving inheritance for your children's children, and you're a blessing to people, to the kingdom of God, and to people generally. So you must have your why. What is your why? Why do you want to be prosperous? Why do you want extra income? Why do you want to have passive income? Why do you want all of that? So you need a why. What is it for when as a person? And this is a question that you alone can answer. So then I talk about how can you become a millionaire? How can you become financially free or financially independent? There are different ways. You could win a lottery. You could have an inheritance that worth millions. You could become an executive of a multinational company. Sorry, when I see me looking here, I'm looking at my big screen, okay? You can probably start a business. But a way that every one of us here, if you have a job, or you have the capacity to get a job, is that you can become very good at what you do, and then you exchange your time for money, and then you now make your money work for you. And I believe every one of us can achieve the last one. You might not be able to achieve this if you are not cut out for business. You might not be an executive of a multinational, okay, or like, being the CEO of Google or of Microsoft, of Lloyds Bank, of HSBC. You might not win a lottery or get an inheritance that is up to $1 million or even in the or six-figure inheritance. You might not get that, but we can all leverage on where we are right now to be able to build wealth. And that's what I'll be showing us today. The outline is in 3 phases: the power of a seed, money management, and how do you build multiple streams of income. Okay, so are the things we'll be looking at today. Before I go in there, I will just flash this. I won't explain because I have to explain this. It's going to take us another 1 hour to explain it. This is what is called the 7 pillars of building wealth. The first is financial education, part of what you are getting right now. The next one is you securing an income. If you have a job, if you don't have a job, you need to secure an income. It takes, either you use time or use money to make money. If you don't have money, then you must have time. You can use time to make money if you don't have money, or use money to make money. And under here, there's a need for us to increase our capacity to earn more money as we go about exchanging either our time for money, and then we progress from there. Financial control is very, very important. I'll talk about that as the second thing we'll be talking about today. Building wealth strategically is also very important. We must understand what that is and how to apply it. Then wealth preservation is another thing that we must understand, and we must know how to apply that also. And then planning to transfer the wealth to the next generation, we also must understand it so that you don't work for the government at the end of the day, and then all you worked for is going to go to the coffers of the government. Now, inheritance tax is now 40% or whatever you have been able to accumulate. So there's a smart way to transfer this without your children having to pay 40% tax on what you left for them. And then we have charitable giving. It's also a pillar that you must have in place for you to be able to build. Think beyond yourself. By thinking beyond yourself, you attract more wealth to yourself. That's a way it comes around. It does. We say when you give, it lives on your hand, but doesn't live your life. There's a blessing of God upon our giving. So the first thing I will explain here is the power of the seed. Some people who have been to my training before must have seen this, because I'm going to play this again just for the sake of people who have not been to my training before. So let's again. I can mute this because it's just there's no words. I'm just going to mute it so the noise doesn't disturb you. Okay, what this is about is you planting a seed. So the power of a seed, and then you see that grow, and let's see what becomes of it. And this is the principle that runs the world, actually. God has put in place a principle of seed and harvest, and that's what runs the universe. And I will explain that to us in a moment. You see, after a number of days, I will stop that video here. You can see after a number of days, a single seed of that pepper has become this. And I said, imagine that this pepper is your salary and you get paid 1 pepper per month. So if you got paid 1 pepper per month, which is the bundle of your salary, the whole bundle of your income, what do you do with it? Do you just cook everything and eat it? When I say cook and eat, it means you just pay your rent, you go shopping, Asda, Tesco, or Lidl, Aldi, or you go shopping, then you go to Next, buy some fashion item, then you pay off some credit cards, pay off some car loans, do all of that, and then there's nothing left at the end of the month. Is that what we do? Or do we cut it and pick out a little seed out of it and put into the ground? And what I'm saying is that, do you take a little seed out of it, put into a savings account, and from there put into an investment account? When I talk about seed in this training, I'm talking about you investing. Do you normally take a seed out of it and put into a soil somewhere? Because your wages or your income is your greatest wealth building tool. And in your income is that seed that can sustain you forever. I use example of the world as an example, that when God created the world, God will not come back and create another mango tree or another apple tree. He hasn't done that since creation. Thousands of whatever years that the earth has been around. it won't be recreated again. Human being won't be recreated again because there's a seed in you as human being to reproduce after your kind. There's a seed in animals to reproduce after their kind. There's a seed in plants to reproduce after their kind. So also is your finances. There's a seed in every money that comes to your hand to help that money to reproduce after its kind so that your money can never be extinct. Okay, extinction will happen when you don't reproduce after your kind. So in your income is a seed. I'm emphasizing this because this is the foundation. When you get the picture of this foundation, nobody will beg you. Nobody will you don't even need anybody to tell you about investing. You just know automatically when my salary comes, I need to keep a part of it apart. Even when you don't know what to use it for, you want to keep a part of it apart because in it is the seed that you need to sustain your finances forever, that you don't ever have to run out of money. Okay, so let's move on from there. Okay, so I think that is what I've just explained. The law sustains this planet. And then when you apply it to your finances, you are going to have something in your hand all the time and every time because that seed is going to work for you and reproduce after its own kind. So we are not supposed to eat it all. Okay, and when your income comes, our income is divided into three. Your income is divided into these three things you see on the pie. When you get your salary, there's a bread part of your salary. There is a giving part of your salary which you give to either to families, you give in church as offering, or you give as tithe in the church. And there's also a part which is your seed. And that seed is meant for you to plan for your future. So if you don't divide your money into these three, you need to go and look at it again and see how you can divide your money into these three. My emphasis here today is on the one that you are meant to plan for your future, which is that meant for your investment. Okay, so that's number one done. Number two is money management. When you talk about money management, it's not so much about how much you earn. There are people who earn six figures. When I say six figures, I mean from 100,000 and above. People who earn six-figure income and still they are 3 months away from being homeless. So it's not so much about how much you earn. It's about how much of that money you are able to control. It's what each of us call our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income unless you protest to the contrary. And this has happened to me. When you earn 1,000, your expenses is 1,000. When your income increases to 2,000, your income increases to 2,000, your expenses will also be 2,000. When you start earning 3,000, your expenses will be equal to 3,000. When you start earning 5,000, your expenses is also equal to 5,000. If you move to 7,000, your expenses is also 7,000. You need to be aware, very conscious of that. If care is not taken, as the money is coming in through one door, another door is going out, and there's nothing left for you to put aside for your future. What am I trying to say is that let's resist the urge to spend more anytime there's an increase in your salary. If I have an increase in salary, I remove that money first, keep it somewhere. I'll still base my budget on my last month's salary. Maybe I get a tax refund, I keep it aside because it's an extra coming in. So you put it aside. And within your normal income, okay, like I've said before, there should be a way you divide it so that you are controlling it properly. So resist that urge to make your discretionary expenses to become non-discretionary expenses. It means things you can do without suddenly becomes things that you cannot do without. Okay, I want a bigger car, I want a bigger house. They are good, they are nice in themselves, as long as you are not borrowing to do them. Okay, or as long as you are not as long as your savings and investment is not suffering in order for you to fulfill them. Because I don't think it's smart for me to have car payment and house payment and rent payment when I put nothing into my future, to my tomorrow. Because the time will come when you want to rest, you want to say I want to go on holiday, or you want to say enough is enough. I no longer want to work. I want to retire. Either you want to do it early or later. You have to have something in place for you to be able to do that. And how do you control your money? Have a written plan. Okay, have a written plan. Say no budget deficit when you are writing your plan. You're not the national government, so you must write a budget that is within your income. okay, that your income can sustain. You have to look at it, see what you can cross out so that everything you need to spend in the month is within your income. Some people will say at a level of income, it becomes very difficult. And I will agree with you, yes, there's a level of income where it becomes very difficult to put things things away. But at that point, that is when you need to increase your capacity to earn more money. Don't stay there. See what you can do. See other things you can do that can boost your income. Because we know that we know how much rent is now in this country, we know how much living expenses is, and I'm not trying to ignore that. That crisis is there. And that means there is a need for us to increase our capacity to earn more money. Like I used to say that the 9 hours that we spend coming home with 2,000. Some people spend the same 9 hours coming home with 5,000. Some people spend the same 9 hours coming home with 10,000. And we all spend the same 7 to 8 hours at work every day. And so there's a need for us to see how we can, spend less, earn more, or whatever we need to do to be able to achieve the plan that we're going to put in place. And I've called this method tag and send. That's what I've called the money management aspect. It's a whole training. I did one in January. If you go to my web to my YouTube channel, you will see my first training for the year was based on how to give purpose to every money that you earn. You can go and watch that video. It's a 2-hour video. It's detailed on how you can put this particular framework into place. How you can have a financial vision, how you can make a list of what your needs and your wants. You match it to your current list of spending, where your money is going to, and then you tag the new list, and then reallocate your finances, and then you automate the process. Now, I won't be able to go through this particular workflow here, as we have a lot of other things to go into, but there's a need for us to go and look at your bank statement, look at the things in your bank statement that is outside of your vision for where you want to use your money for. For instance, before you get the money, you need to budget it. For instance, in December, I do my budget for the year in December. I have an approximate amount of what comes in for me as salary, what comes in as a family for my wife and for myself as a family, and budget is done in December for the things that we know are recurrent expenses. There are things that will come along the line that you did not plan for. But again, there's a need for you to budget for things that might come around that you didn't plan for, or within the average. God forbid something drastic happens, but within the normal unexpected thing, maybe something broke in the house, you need to fix your car and stuff like that. There's also need for you to budget for that. So when you look at your bank statement, you look at the things you've been spending money on that are not part of the list, your list of your wants and your needs, especially your needs first. And then you need to retag that list to say, these are my must have expenses, must pay, the ones that are must have your wants, and the ones that are meant for your good future, and the ones that are meant for your good memory. You need to tag it that way, and then I won't have the chance to. I'm being tempted to go into it, but I won't have a chance to go into it. Then you can reallocate it, and then you automate the process. Very important to automate the process. You don't automate the process of giving your money purpose, which is another way of saying budgeting. You don't automate it, it's going to fail. There's a need for you to automate it. And these are the ways you divide it. You target the must have, about 60% of your income will go to the things that you must have. Your rent, your electricity, utility, maybe your transport to work, clothing, and the rest of it. Childcare will take 60, if not more than 60% of your income. And then any question in the chat, you can put any question in the chat anytime. I would answer as we go. Your could have could be about 15%. Your good future is what you put aside as your seed into your future. Your good memory are the things you use to enjoy life right now. I know, when people hear about budgeting, they think it's a curse word. That budgeting means I'm being caused to a life of suffering. No, you are being intentional about where your money go to. And then when you are doing that, you need an amount for your good memory. And this is what you spend on holidays, you spend on dinner dates with your wife and with your children. What you spend on yourself if you are still single, but do not ignore. So my sermon, if I can tag it that way, allow me to switch on the lights. Okay, so you can see me better. So what I'm advocating for every one of us is that do not ignore the future. Prepare to have a very beautiful future by the grace of God. Okay, let's move on from there. Some people will talk about the 30-50-20 rule. It's another rule, but this is what I work with on the average. So for the 30-50-20 rule, and if you're higher earner, you can actually change that to 40 to 40, 25, 35, where you increase your savings to about 35. For instance, no matter how much I earn right now, my mortgage is remaining the same. Okay. Even if I double my income, my mortgage is still the same. I probably won't go and buy a house that will double my mortgage. It means that your needs will probably for housing will reduce in percentage compared to what your overall income is. So when you're a higher income earner, the percentage can actually change and can increase more into what you put into savings and investment. And this is an average. Okay, this is just an average. It might not be the same for everybody. If you have an household income of 3,000, this after tax, this might be the way you allocate your income. So still put aside at least 10%. If you're living in a house, and I know some cities, if you live in some cities, you can't get 70-50 rent any longer. It means some things around here will probably have to suffer for it. You might have to move 2% here, become 70% or more, but make sure this place is not zero. If you have 5,000 household income after tax, yeah, don't live in a house too expensive for your income. Your rent or mortgage should not be more than 28 to 30% of your income. If your rent or your mortgage is more than 28% to 30% of your income, then you are living in a house that is too expensive for what you are earning. Shouldn't take more than 1/3 of your income. Anything above that, you probably live in a place too expensive for you. Probably need to relocate and just go look for somewhere else where it can come within the range of 30% of your income. Okay, that is financial control. Then we move on to the main thing. How do you build multiple streams of income? And I'm going to spend the remaining time on this. How do we make money? How do we make our money work for us? How do we make extra money on the side? Which I think is what a lot of us will be interested in. I'm interested in it also. How do I make more? Okay, and to do that, I will start by explaining the cash flow quadrant. And now this was designed and popularized by Robert Kiyosaki. Is the one who designed the cash flow quadrant. And what does it mean? You have the EBSI. If you have read this book before, you probably will have seen this, or you must have seen it online. There was a cash flow quadrant book that he wrote. And from there, this formula was well explained. What does that stand for? So this is the explanation for the cash flow quadrant. And you see the reason why I'm explaining this in a moment. Okay, the E is for employed. So you're an employee when you're in the E quadrant. We all belong to this quadrant one way or the other. You can belong to multiple quadrants actually. So in the E quadrant, you're an employee. You extend your time for money. You have a job. You have no leverage. Your job, you and your job equals to your income. 100% times 1 is your income. That's you as an employee. Now, you can be a self-employed like myself. Okay? You own a job. You don't have a job, but you own a job. Why? Your time is still equal to money, but maybe slightly more money, but you have no leverage. You are still trading your time for money. The day I don't work, I don't get paid. And in fact, people who are employed are probably better than people who are self-employed. When you are self-employed, it all depends on you. When you are sick, you have no money. When you can't bake or cook or do that delivery, Uber or whatever it is, you don't get paid because you are self-employed. Okay, that's another scenario. The other scenario is you being a business owner. Now, this is a business owner who is not self-employed business owner. A business owner who's got system in place. He's got people working for him. Okay, 1% times 100 equals to income. It means you probably do some of the job, your staff are doing some of the job for you, and that equals to your income. You have some leverage here because you can still afford to go on holiday, and some people are still working for you because you have a system in place that runs your operation. And so you have some leverage. You are leveraging on people to equal to more money. You can see how the equation is changing. And then you now have the investors quadrant where your money works for you. You don't have to lift a finger. Nobody have to lift a finger on your behalf. your money just works for you. So money making more money. This is where you want to be. And how does this play out for you as an employee? Because we're focusing on people, on all of us who are working 9 to 5 job. Okay. So what this is saying when they call it cash flow is that your money should flow into the I quadrant. So there are different mentalities and thinking that governs this place. But regardless of where you are within this quadrant, think like an investor. When you are an employee, let your money flow into the high quadrant. You are self-employed, let your money still flow into the high quadrant. Even as a business owner, don't put all your egg in one basket. You say, okay, I put it there and I watch it with all intensity. No, still allow your money to flow into the high quadrant. Have the investor mentality. And that is what that book was about. And that is what I want us to think. Think, how do I flow my money into the high quadrant? Where my money works for me, and where I'm sleeping, my money is working for me. Like today now, I've done my 9 to 5 job. I'm here now coaching. My money has worked for me all through today without me having to do an additional lifting of finger in that particular area. So there you are, passive income, and then you are able to leverage. And we already have the understanding of what passive income and active income is based on that triangle. The fact that you have a salary job, you are paid hourly, you are freelance working, you work on sales and commission, you're a consultant, you're self-employed, side hustle or whatever it is, you are still working hard and you are making active income. But when you have rental income from properties, or you have dividend stock that's giving you money, you have royalties on books, on music, you have affiliate marketing income, or you have an online business, or these days you have people who make money on YouTube, on Instagram, they are influencers, and all of that, okay, that is passive income. For instance, let's assume I charge I charge £10 for this training. As long as I'm the one coming out to come and train you, I'm still working hard. It's active income. Become passive income when I can record this recording now. I can upload it to a website somewhere and say, go listen to pay £10 and go listen to this video. That becomes a passive income. And that video can be there for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And people pay £10 to listen to it. And that becomes passive income for me. I won't have to come to class like this to do a face-to-face coaching anymore, because I've done the job once and you keep giving me money for as long as the content is still relevant. Okay, so that is the difference between active way of making money and passive way of making money. And that is the smarter way by which you want to work going forward. So what we need to start doing is to start shifting attention. How do I start shifting gradually from active way of making money to a passive way of making money? Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is making money, which we are already talking about. So the first thing is a business venture or side hustle. Okay, it's still active income, but it's a way to start. Okay, business is about creating value through offering of product and services. So what value can you offer? What is it in your area? What is it where you live? What is it that is a pain to you? What is it that people are looking for? What issues are there that people want you to solve for them? Or what even issues are you facing yourself that you know other people are also facing it? How can you create a solution for yourself and for other people? And that is when you look at, your current lifestyle, your daily routine, what kind of side hustle does it fit into? Your personality, what's your kind of personality? Are you able to negotiate? Are you hands-on? Do you know how to write? Are you good at speaking? Some people can talk from now till tomorrow. They are not shy of standing in front of the camera. When they learn something, they can easily share what they've learned. You probably might want to have a YouTube channel where you share your video. Like some of us who are camera shy, we only come on camera when it's required. Some people are very methodological in the way they approach things. Some are analytical. That will inform the kind of side hustle you're going to have. What is your passion? What are you emotionally connected to? Okay, that you can work on for the rest of your life, and you will even know you are working at all because you are passionate about it. That could be something you want to do your side hustle on. Is it an hobby? Okay, is it an activity that you enjoy, a casual, enjoyable activity? Is it something that you know that you enjoy that you can turn into a money-making venture? Or is there a need around you that you want to fulfill that people are willing to pay for? All of this will help you to decide what is it that you want to do as side hustle. I know a lot of things are popular, like I have on the next on the okay. Then another thing, okay, before I go into a list of what is possible that we can do, that are people I've seen people do around me and they're making money, is that when you're trying to start a side hustle, you don't need a second job. Very, very important that what you are doing will not turn to a second job for you. That is going to take a lot of your time. You don't want that. What you want is a side hustle that is scalable. It means it can grow above you when you will need to leverage on technology or leverage on other people to be able to scale the business. You want something that is flexible. You want something that is profitable at the end of the day. And then you want something that addresses that the total addressable market is very, very large and not a small market. And then you want to listen to your heart to lead you. And with this, with all of these things, you'll be able to choose. Don't choose a business that which you are not there, it will not work. Now, it might be at the beginning, but you want something that at some point you can transit to it becoming passive and somebody can do the work for you or machine can do the work for you and you don't have to be there or show up every time for you to make money. If you write a book once, you get royalty forever. Okay, you post a YouTube video once, it goes viral, you earn money for as long as that video is still relevant to people. Okay, so these are a lot of things that a lot of list of things that people do. Yours might not be here. What you think might not be here, but here is a lot of a lot of things that people do. You have coaching, you have print on demand, and in fact, some of this you don't even need to own the product. There are websites. All you need to do is to be able to market your print on demand, and they can deliver for you anywhere in the world. T-shirt, mugs, artwork, whatever. You have it online on st.com and some other websites and some people will produce it for you and deliver it for you. All you need to do is to market it and let people know that you are selling that kind of a thing. So that digital products, ebooks, that a lot of other things that people can do. I won't go into them, but there are things you can go and research and then be able to see what fits you. And the next thing is how do you make money passively? And let's go into the passive of making money. The first thing I will talk about is real estate. In this country, is still one of the major way to make passive income. It is becoming tighter and tighter by the day because new rules are coming in to stifle landlords, especially with the current government that we have right now. But it's still a way to earn passive income and a way for you to grow your capital because the property industry, property appreciates over time. And that is still a very good way to earn passive. So let's quickly look at what are the advantages of owning real estate. These are some of the advantages. The biggest one are the top three here. And in fact, everything here is very good. Leveraging is the fact that you can put down 10%, bank will easily loan you 90%, or put down 25%, and bank will loan you the remaining 75%. So you are leveraging, the money of the bank for you to build wealth. Capital appreciation is when the house you bought 5-10 years ago has almost doubled in value. That gives you capital appreciation on your money. And then you have the cash flow that is coming in from there after your mortgage and your insurance and other things that you need to pay for, you still have some money coming in for you. And then you have equity release. This is when you're able to release equity from your current house to go and buy another house. And these are things that are very profitable to do if you pay attention. So I'll move on from there. Ways to invest in real estate. These are a personal example for myself where using the three principles above, using leveraging, capital appreciation, rental income, and equity release. I've been able to turn a 10,000 investment to more than $500,000 investment within the space of 15 years thereabout. A space of 15 years thereabout. Okay, how do you do that? Purchase a house at 15% at that time for 10,500. The value of the house was 70,000. The house is now worth over 150 something thousand, if not 160,000 right now. But this figure is a little bit old. And then from there, was able to do equity release to buy another house that was worth then 255,000, deposit of 25,000, which was 10%, and the value and the house is now worth about 380,000. So from a seed of 10,000, you now have a value of more than 500,000 over a period of 15 years, 10, 15 years, if you include, over that period. What am I trying to say here? Some people want to wait till when they can afford a mansion to get on the property ladder in the UK. You can be an accidental landlord. So doing this is called being an accidental landlord. You can start where you are. You can spend 2, 3, 4 years in that house and then move on to another house and rent out the first house. Or you can sell the house, buy another one, and then put the money through a company to buy another house. So either way you want to do it, just do it in a very smart way that will be tax efficient for you. But what am I trying to say is that from a little seed in property, you can build a lot of wealth if you pay attention to it. And you can keep releasing. If I want to do it now, I can release equity from here, and buy 2 more houses. And continue that way. So that is the way to build wealth through real estate. I won't be able to go deep into it because there's so much to talk about when it comes to real estate. There's commercial, there's rent to rent, there's service accommodation, there's mixed use, there's developments, there's flipping. There's quite a lot. There's de-sourcing, there's residential. There's so much to talk about in real estate, but it's something that you want to go and look into. If you want more details, I'll put the padlock here. For more details, I will talk more on this during my masterclass if you want to attend the masterclass. Okay, passive income is another way of passive income is through stock and investing. Okay, and this is not day trading. So when I talk about stock and investing, I'm not talking about day trading. Some people trade stock, trade currency, trade cryptocurrency. This is not, for me, this is not a way to make money. And this is not passive income. Let me put it that way. So I'm talking about passive income. Why is it not passive income? Because the day you don't trade, you don't make money. And again, it's very volatile and very risky. And so you do not want to burn your money trading currency. Like I put here a disclaimer that I have a bit of cryptocurrency. It should be about maybe 700 pounds. I don't know. That I have there. I just bought it and I left it there because I know it is a trend that is going on. And as a coach, I need to know what is going on there. And it was 758 now that I have there. So it's about 700 and something in cryptocurrency. And it's like nothing compared to, when you look at my asset base, it's nothing compared to it. So if you want to even touch it at all, let it be like 1% or 2% of your total investment on a monthly basis. If you have the fear of missing out, you don't want to miss out. It could become very big in the future. You don't know. Maybe put 1 or 2% of your total investment portfolio into it. Okay. Now, what does it mean what are we now talking about when it comes to investing in stock as a way of making passive income? We talk about you becoming a shareholder of companies, of reputable companies across the world. Okay, and there are different ways through which you can invest in the stock market, through individual funds, stocks, through mutual funds, through trust funds, through exchange traded funds, through index tracker funds, through bonds, and these are trading derivatives, futures, and currency are trading. You want to avoid these ones. You want to explore all of this or some of this in your portfolio. And I'm going to show us now. And why do we invest in stock markets? Is because that is where the bulk of the wealth of the world is, from sovereign nations to pension funds to individual billionaires and whatever. There's a lot of money, trillions and trillions of dollars in the stock market. Okay, maybe I should pause there for question. Anybody has got a question there, you can put up your hand and I will answer a question. If you are still with me, please give me a thumbs up if you are still listening, or if this is benefiting you one way or the other. Let me get a reaction. I've been talking since. Okay, I can see quite a number of us here. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you for that. Okay, now let's move on from there. Okay, now let's look at the stock market. Thank you for the thumbs up. Yeah, thank you, much appreciated. Okay, so we want to look at a few examples of investing in the stock market. I'm a fan of the stock market, okay? I know everyone can make money through the stock market. Every one of us can make money through the stock market. Why is it one that I love to promote very well is because you can start with any amount. You can start with as little as £5, £10, £50 on a monthly basis, £15, £20, £100, 1,000, 10,000, any amount you have, you can start investing in the stock market with any amount compared to other ways of making money. Okay, and I've given an example here. If you start off these are hypothetical scenarios, but these are mathematical scenarios, I would say. Okay, but they are also realistic, as I will show us as we go on. If you have a child you just given birth to today, and you start an investment of £100 for that child, and you do a money investment of £200 for that child at a return rate of 10%, by the time the child is 18 years old, they will have over 120,000 invested for them without them lifting a finger, without you lifting a finger, and the fact that you set up a direct debit for the money to go somewhere. And the funny thing is that if this money doesn't go there, you will still spend it anyway. And in 10 years' time, 15 years' time, you won't know where the money has gone to. And there'll be zero in an investment account. And there'll be no investment account for that child. Or maybe you want to do it for yourself. By the time that child is from age 0, maybe from age 0 to age 55, when they want to retire, they will have more than 5 million in that account. That is the beauty of starting very early. You start with 200 for a child. When they become 18 or 19 or 20, they take over the account and they start putting money into the account themselves. Before they are 35 or 40, they are already millionaires. And I will show us an account through which you can do that as we go on. So I'm going to click on this website, and I will simulate a few figures for us. And maybe you're already 30 or 40. I will simulate your age, and then let's look at it together. I'm going to put the link in the chat now for people you want to try and do that simulation after the class. Let me just put it in the chat for us, so you can go do this simulation after the class. So let's assume you starting with £200. The starting figure doesn't matter when it comes to compound interest. It could be any figure, it could be £1. Okay, let's assume you're starting with £200 with a return of 10%, which is achievable, and I will show you how to achieve it. And you do it for a period of 18 years, and this for a child or maybe for yourself. And then, like I said, the return is going to be about 100. It's changed to, okay, yeah. The return is going to be about I think I used 1,000 here. That was why. So it's about 121,000 on that scenario. And this is you just putting money aside consistently. Even if you can't do that much, even if you do £100, £100 will do something in the life of the child. 60,000 will pay off the child's school fees. The child doesn't have to borrow to go to school when they want to go to uni. Even if they can also buy their first house. If you start your child off in life with 60K, it means they are debt-free when they finish university, or they already have their first house when they finish university. I think you've done well as a parent. And if it is yourself, you want to have a target for a 10-year target, a 15-year target, a 5-year target, we'll look at that as we go. Let's assume that you are an adult, and let me use the age. Let's assume you are 35 years old. Okay, you have an income. I will simulate with maybe 300. If you put aside 300 every year, from 35 to 55, how many years is that? That's 20 years. And then you put that aside passively, just a standing order with direct debit. In 20 years, you have 154,000 on the average in that place. If you are able to increase this to 400 on a monthly basis, that will increase. If you're able to delay your retirement until 60, and that will be 25 years, from now, if you are 35, for instance, that means the power of compound interest can work more on your behalf. Okay, and this is what I want us to all target, to be able to put aside £1 million by the time you are retiring. That is where I want every one of us to be, and I can show you how to get there, the step-by-step way to get there as we progress in this training and as we go into the master class. And so let's assume that you still have up to 25 years to retirement like we have here. You might probably have to increase this to like 600 on a monthly basis. Let's see where that is going to get us, and then let's see what we have, and then we can simulate more. So let's assume you're able to achieve this in 25 years, okay? And then if you retire with 800,000 in your portfolio, okay, at that point, let's assume you are 60, and then maybe you live to be 105. That would be 45. Some can desire to live more than that. For that would be from age 60 to another 45 years, you become 105 years old. Okay, at that point, you don't need to deposit anymore. All you need to do is to withdraw. And now, even if you pay yourself, let's say 5,000, on a monthly basis in retirement, you calculate how much that is going to be. You can see that money will never finish all through your lifetime. If you place yourself on a 60K salary at retirement and you collect 60K, maybe increasing it by inflation, until retirement, what you still have left in your account will still be over 18 million pounds or dollars is what you will still have in your account. You would have earned additional interest of 20 million during that period. Let me be sure that this is 800,000. It's not 8 million. Yeah, it's 800,000. You would have earned an additional interest of over 20 million within that period. That is the power of compound interest. That is the power of investing without you having to lift a finger anymore, without you having to put any money into it anymore in retirement. All you do is withdraw on a monthly basis. That money will never, never, never finish. And what do? You put this kind of money into trust that your children can't sell it. They can only enjoy the benefits. So for them, maybe you enjoy the benefit of maybe 10% of the income or 20% of the income of these on a yearly basis. 10% is 2 million or 4 million, maybe 2 million on a yearly basis, what they enjoy. That money will never finish from generation to generation to generation. It will be in a trust, and the beneficiary of the trust can always enjoy the benefit of that trust. And that's one way to pass money to the next generation through trust. Okay, that's an example. So let's move on. So you can be wondering, 10%, is it achievable? Let's check. So let's move on from here. We've simulated that. Is it achievable? And we can simulate real life income, and then to see whether this is possible or not. So here we have the opportunity of the internet here, and I'm going to simulate it for us. So let's do some simulation. I want also put in the chat for me the companies that you would have invested into. If I should give you 5,000 today and I said go and invest into some companies, which company would you likely invest the money into? You're given 5,000 today. Okay, you're using 5,000 to simulate. I've given you 5,000 today. Go and invest this 5,000. Don't think about it. Just give me the first company that comes to mind. Put it in the chat, please. Any company that comes to mind at all. Let me go away from this page. So anybody that comes to mind at all, just put in the chat and let's simulate what that company will have given you. Okay, you're assuming that I gave you, or somebody should give you 5,000 pounds today. I think I prefer this one. I'll put those two links in the chat for us so that we can use it to simulate. Someone said Tesla. Thank you very much. Okay, let me copy the link in the chat so that you can go and look at it when you have the chance tomorrow, or anytime you have the chance. Just a moment. Someone said Apple. Okay, someone said Google. Okay, really, yeah, they would naturally come to mind. They would probably come to my mind too. Okay, Tesco. We look at Tesco. Okay, let's start from Tesla. And then we said for a period of 10 years, that would be 2014. And then if somebody has given you 5,000 to invest, let's calculate this. Am I missing anything there? if I missed anything, let me type this again. Okay. Oh, the website is having a problem. Let's go to another one. Okay, and we change this one to 5,000 over a period of 10 years. Okay, you can see that the 5,000 in 10 years would have become 100,000. And so that's an average of 36% per annum. Now, you didn't do any research, you just picked a company from the blues. That will have give you every year 36% return on your money. Compound that. And that compounding on a yearly basis for 10 years, that Tesla will have given you, these are real life data, will have given you 108,000 within that period. Someone said Apple. Let's see what Apple would have given. Where is Apple Inc? So Apple would have given you, Apple will have given you 45,000. Your 5,000 will become 45,000. That is passive income. This is you not doing anything, your capital appreciation. Apple will have given you an average of 24% on a yearly basis, year after year, on the average. Will have given you that. Someone says Google. Let's look at Google. Google will have given you 31,000. From that 5,000 will have gone 21,000, an average of 20% per annum. And someone says Tesco. Tesco might not be here because these are American. Oh, is there? Interesting. Tesla will have given you 16,000. Not bad. It's the average of 12% on a yearly basis. And there's no savings accounts that can give you this kind of income on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis rather. And you can go on and on. There are so many other companies I could try that are easy pick for you to pick anytime without even you thinking much about it. I love Microsoft. It's one of the examples. Will give you 66,000. I don't want to go into some figures that would be too, well, let's look at the ones that won't give you so much. For instance, Coca-Cola. Sorry, KO is Coca-Cola. Yeah, is it here? Okay. Coca-Cola, KO. Will give you a decent 12,000, which is 9.2%, which is not bad because Coca-Cola will give you dividend on a yearly basis. It will have been giving you dividend every year, and that will increase the percentage above 9%. What am I saying is that 10% per annum is achievable. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say with those examples. And I have a lot of examples here, but I won't be able to go into it because of our time. Facebook, Meta, Adobe, Google, Netflix. These are Intuitive Surgical, Nvidia, Amazon. These are very popular companies. McDonald's, Walmart, Procter & Gamble. They are all very popular companies that you can easily buy. Another way to do it is for you to invest in index funds, which is, as an example here, I have the S&P 500 as a fund. And this is what it will have returned to you over the last 15 years. From 2009 to 2024, this will have been the return, an average of 15.57% in the last 15 years will have been your average income. And then if you are to be NASDAQ, which is technology stock, will have given you 22% per annum. So this is when you are not choosing any stock. You're just putting your money in an index fund. You don't need to pick individual stock. Just put it in an ETF that tracks S&P or tracks NASDAQ. You would still have this level of return on the average on a yearly basis. Okay. What am I trying to do here is to be comfortable with investing in the stock market that is not as bad as people portray it in the newspaper. So if you look at this would have given you a very good return on your money. Okay, let's move on from there. Okay, these are the bad news in the you read about in the newspaper that will prevent you from investing. Do not allow that to prevent you from investing. You can see it as the bad news are coming in, the market is going up. Bad news coming in, market going up. major events. These are major events in the world, major global event. 2020 dot-com bubble was this. That was a bust. This is 2008 financial crisis. Okay, this is coronavirus. This is 2022 inflation. This is Trump tariff war with everybody in the world. We'll see where the market is today. If you want me to show you live data, I can show you live data of where the market is, or where the stock market is today, using S&P 500 as an example. So this is today now. Let me look at what S&P is doing today. Why do we use S&P 500? Because S&P 500 is the top 500 companies in America, and that is the way we often measure the stock market. So we measure the stock market based on S&P 500. What is happening there is a reflection of what is happening in the world, basically. What's going on there is what's going on in the world, basically. So let me put this in 1 month, and then you can see that graph. You can see where we are today. Is still we are the highest, where the market could be currently. Let me increase that a little bit. Okay, you can see where we are right now. And you look at it, and this over a period of almost 25 years, you can see what the market is doing. So what am I trying to say is that when you stay long enough, if you are here and the market came down, you say, oh, market came down, and you sold all your stock. We sell at a loss. We'll see what happened thereafter. If in January you say, oh, market is coming down in January because Trump is making trouble with everybody, and you sold down here, now market is here, you would have. And that's what happened to people who lose money in the stock market. They sell at the slightest negative on their account, they want to sell. No, that is not, and that is the essence of having a coach. A coach will have given you confidence that don't sell. For people that have coached, when this was happening to them, I was able to reassure them, don't worry, this will come to pass. Just remain calm and invest, keep investing on a monthly basis, because you are buying cheap when it comes down. You are buying very cheap here, very cheap here. And so when it's going up, you are buying something that is £100, you're now buying at £70 or £80. When it goes up, you gain more money. And so that's also the essence of having a coach guiding you. You can talk to when things are not the way you think they're supposed to be. They can reassure you or ask you to move your portfolio around in a way that will make it profitable or withstand even what is going on in the market. Okay, let's move on to the next slide. Okay, I said something here. I said doing nothing or procrastinating is riskier than making an informed decision. So what you need is financial education. Okay, not CNN. Okay, what you need is someone who is able to help you to make informed decision. And shifting it to tomorrow will not help. I know someone who started with just £13 on a monthly basis. It sounds ridiculous, but when I started with £50 on a monthly basis. So it takes me 2, at times 3 to 4 months to be able to buy anything, because then I need to put in at least £100 to buy. So I have to put in 25 for 4 months to be able to buy something after the 4th month. Okay, at some point it was £100 on a monthly basis. And so procrastinating that I have nothing so I can't start is a risky thing to do than making informed decision. So I will go quickly to the accounts that we can open. These days, you don't want to put money into savings account again. Let me just quickly check. I think it's just about 1,000 that you have in your allowance. Let's quickly check that. Where we are here is publicly available information that what is the tax allowance on savings interest. So if you put your money into savings, any interest above 1,000, you start paying government taxes. And I think from next year, your bank will start reporting your savings account to HMRC so that they can tax you. And so putting money into savings account is not the way to go anymore. So any interest you earn above 1,000, you pay taxes on it when you have your money in savings account. And again, savings is not the way to build wealth. as we have seen, savings will give you 3%, 4%. During high inflation, it was given 4.5, 4.8%. Now it's back to like 3.84% interest on your savings account. Plus anything you make, you have big money in your savings account and it's above 1,000 interest income, you have to start paying taxes. But there are ways for you not to pay taxes. And that is through ISA. And a lot of us have been hearing about ISA. If you don't have an ISA account in this country, you are shortchanging yourself. Everybody must have an ISA account, whether it's cash or it's stock and shares or it's both. At least everybody must have a cash ISA, at least. Everybody in this country, including the child, including the adult. You don't have it, you are just working for the government at the end of the day. And you are trying to save money in your savings account. It's not tax protected. So your ISA has been around for about 26 years, and it has been tax-free for the last 26 years. And we hope that will continue. People are rumoring, there's a rumor going on that they want to reduce how much cash you can put into your cash ISA, but they are doing that in favor of stock investing. And that is what I'm teaching you today, stock investing. So they want people to put less money into their cash ISA, and then put more money into their stock and share ISA, which makes this training very, very good for us to be listening to now. So the first thing you want to do is your children's account. Now, don't wait till you giving an inheritance to your children when you are 70 or 80 or 90 or 100 or whatever. Make them a millionaire before they are 30. That way, they won't incur inheritance taxes when you are old. And you can just enjoy your money because they don't need your money anymore. Okay, because they are already millionaire because you started them out on a very good path when they are very young. It could be £100 every month. It could be 50. I have people who do £50 for their children every month. It could be as little as £50 every month. Okay, there are things you can automate and buy, and you don't have to pay any. What do you call it? You don't have to pay any commission. If you go to this website, HL, for instance, for Junior ISA, you look at Junior ISA on this website. Okay, let me look for the fees. I'm looking for the fees. The fees for charges. You can see 0% annual charge. You can see fund is free. When they buy UK shares is free. Overseas is free. Trust, everything here is free for children. It means we put in £50, your £50, there will be no deduction on your £50 until they turn 18. So you can do as little as even £25 on a monthly basis. You are allowed to buy some funds, some funds at £25 on a monthly basis. And so nothing is too small for you to start with. So for children, you can put in as much as 9,000 in a year. It's called Junior ISA, and this is Junior ISA stocks and shares. I don't do cash. I don't keep cash. I don't have cash. All I do is stock investing. Okay, and so you put that money away into that account for that child, and capital gain, profit made, all tax-free. When they turn 18, the account will be given to them. And these are the company where you can open the accounts for your children. Fidelity, HL, Agris and Lansdowne, Vanguard, and all of them. Some of them will give you that Junior ISA for your children, age 0 to age 18. Another thing, which is another ISA, the full meaning of ISA is individual savings account. Even though they call it individual savings account, there's stock and share version of it. There are 4 types of ISA actually. You have the junior ISA, the normal ISA, which is for adults. You have the LISA, and then there's one called innovative ISA, which I've never invested in before. It's called innovative ISA. You can invest in property through it and stuff like that, or you invest in small companies through it. But I've not done that before. So you have junior ISA, you have cash ISA, you have LISA, you have senior ISA, the innovative ISA. Okay, this is for people who are age 18 to age 39. And like I hammer into people that if you're not yet 40, go and open a LISA. Once you cross 40, you lose that benefit. I don't have a LISA because I missed the opportunity before I cross 40. If you're here, you're not yet up to 40, go open a what? Go and open a LISA. what are the benefits of opening a LISA? So the benefit is that you get 25% added to your account from the government based on how much you put in on a yearly basis. If you put in 4,000, which is the maximum, you get 1,000 bonus from the government. If you put in £100, you get £25. You put in whatever you put in, you get 25% of whatever you put in. You get it on a monthly. As you put in it, you are getting it maybe 20 days or 30 days after, you get the money. And that money, is that you buy your first house with it, and this is the caveat. If you don't buy your first house with it, it becomes your retirement account. It means you can't touch it until you reach the age of 60, when you can touch your lifetime ISA. Go check with HL, AJ Bell, Interactive Investors, all of them. I'll show you the ones that will open a LISA for you. And so it's very important. The advantage of this is that when you retire at 60, you don't have to pay taxes. Your normal pension, the one you do at work, and the one you do privately, and the one government will give to you, we attract taxes. Anything above the minimum allowance of 12,000, when we retire, we start paying taxes on it. But when you have a LISA as your retirement account, which you cannot touch until you are 60, you do not pay taxes. And that is the beauty of this as a retirement account. It's protected from you. You can't touch it. Just like you can't touch your pension until you are 55. The age is going to 57 very soon. Okay? You can't touch this also until you are 60. Okay, it says something big and strong can come from something so small. And that is it. Don't despise the days of small beginning, no matter how little, put it aside. Okay, the next one is junior SIP. And this is another one for the children. And this is a retirement account. It's called, the SIP means self-invested personal pension. This is your self-investment personal pension. And you can open a pension account for your child. They can't touch it until they are maybe 58, because the age is 57. The age is going up now from 55 to 57. They can't touch it before then. But what that means is that they will never even think of all they need to do is maybe like £200 every month in pension. They can even, when they start working, they can even choose to opt out of pension, or they can even just do the minimum in pension. They won't be stressed like we are. Like somebody like me now, I have to put in, I told my employer to be removing 1,000 from my income every month to put into my pension. That's stressful for me. That's the money I can enjoy my life with right now. But I can't do that. Why? Because I started very late. So why, if they start early, they would only need 1,000 a month to have a comfortable return. With £200 every month all their life, that's all they need to do. Or maybe £150, £250. That's what they need to contribute till they get to that age. And the money we see times 10, those of us who are starting at the age of 40, because they are starting very, very early. So the earlier you start, the better for us. So if you are here, you are below, you are in your 20s, you are 18, you are, you are so blessed, because if you start this, all you need is probably 250 or 350 on a monthly basis, all through retirement, and you still have millions in your account at the end of the day, compared to those of us who are starting very late, where we need to increase how much we need to put aside to achieve the same result as a young person will achieve. So it's good. You can start with them. But I would say rather do the junior ISA for them than junior SIP, because the junior ISA will allow them to touch the money when they turn 18. They can use it for their first property or for their education. At that time, they can just open their SIP, for them to start putting money in. So the next one is the common one, which is the ISA, but I'm talking about share and stock, or stocks and share ISA, which is more like the senior ISA, where you can put in up to 20,000 in a year. Profit made is tax-free. And then if you can have both LISA and HISA together at the same time. If you are below 40, you can have both of them. But your allowance is still 20,000. It means 4,000 for your LISA, 16,000 for your HISA. And even all the money is divided between your LISA, your stock and share ISA, your cash ISA, and your cash LISA, and your stock and share LISA. All of your ISAs share the same allowance of 20,000 as an adult. No matter how many of them that you have, you must not put more than 20,000 into it in a particular tax year, April 6 to April 5, on a yearly basis. Okay, you can withdraw from your ISA at any time. So this one is, you are not bound with time. anytime you want, you can withdraw from your ISA. It's a disadvantage, I would say, because you can, anytime you want to dip your hand into it, you can dip your hand into it. It's an advantage and disadvantage at the same time, depending on what you are building it for. Some people can build money and say, okay, I want to build a stock ISA for 6 years. After 6 years, I'll go and buy property with it. Okay, you can do it that way. Okay, you let it work for you, and then after 5-6 years, you sell up your stock, or you sell part of your stock, withdraw the money, go do something with it. So that is an advantage. But if you want to use for retirement, then you have to be extra careful not to touch. There are ISA billionaires in the UK, and they don't have to pay taxes anymore. Then the next one is the SIPP, which is a retirement account. Like I've said, there's a junior one, and this is for people who are above 18. You can also start one parallel to your workplace pension. And that is what I do. I have one parallel to my workplace pension. And in fact, I manage my pension myself, either workplace or whatever. I manage my pension myself through SIPP. But there's a little that goes to the workplace pension, while the remaining one from my employer goes into my SIPP towards retirement. So what is the advantage of opening a SIPP? Government will pay you back the tax that you are given to them. Okay, you're going to be given back your taxes when you open a SIPP, and that you can use that money to invest until retirement. The best way to explain that is using the tax bracket. Okay, you can see the tax bracket of people who earn 0 to 12,000 is 0% taxes, a tax that they will pay. 12,500 to 50,000, you pay 20% tax. Higher rate taxpayer, 50K, 200 to 125,000, you pay 40% tax. It could be more than that because you start losing your allowance. Once you cross 100,000, you lose this allowance. Additional rate taxpayer, that's one is a story for another day. Additional rate taxpayer, your tax is based on 45%. And so how does that apply to how much government will give you back? So if you are a basic rate taxpayer, you get 25% from the government, even though you don't pay any taxes. You still get 25% top up on any money you put into your SIPP. So if you put 1,000 into your SIPP, you get 25% of that 1,000 that particular year refunded back to you automatically into your pension. Okay, but if you earn below 50, if you earn 50,000 to 50,200 and below, this money will still be added to your pension account automatically, your SIPP account. You don't need to apply for it. If you're on this level or this level, you get this money. Even the children, if you put money into pension for your children, you get that 25% from the government automatically top up into that account. But if you earn above 50K 200, then 20% will come automatically into your pension account. You can claim the remaining 20% back through tax relief when you file for your self-assessment. If you're an additional rate taxpayer, you can get up to 5%, 20% automatically into your account. The remaining 5% you claim it back through your self-assessment. So that's the way SIPP works. And so what does that mean? It means you have money, your tax is given back to you to invest in. You can use that money for the next 10, 20, 30 years, depending on when you are going to retire. But when you retire, you start paying taxes on your SIPP. Okay, you start paying taxes on your SIPP when you retire. And your workplace pension also, when you retire, you start paying taxes. Anything you earn in retirement above whatever the minimum personal allowance would be by that time, you will pay tax. Currently, it's 12,570. Anything below this, you don't pay taxes. We don't know what's going to be by then, whatever it is. Anything above it is when you start paying taxes. Okay. I said again, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. Second best time for us to do this is now. Do not procrastinate. Let's go to the account that you can open. How do you open and funding your investment account? Okay. So this is a review of what I've just. If you want to screenshot this, you can screenshot it to give you a summary of all the accounts I've just spoken about: the junior ISA, the lifetime ISA, the junior SIPP, the ISA, and the SIPP. You can have a screenshot of that. Okay, move on to, or go check it. You can pause the YouTube later and clip it from there. Now, some people are asking which account do I open? Which account do I open? So this is where I would say, let me see, maybe I have another slide that explain this better. Yep, it's another slide. This will explain it better to us. But these are companies you can go and download their app and open your account with them. Trading 212, Freetrade, HL, and that's Agrips, Lansdowne, AJ Bell, Lightyear, but some of them are better than the other. For me, if you want to open, if you're people who live in Nigeria, I will explain this slide when I get to the next two slides. For people who are in Nigeria, these are, some people who are in Nigeria, if you open account with any of these new generation fintech, you can buy American shares through them. And these are the old ones that have been the old ones: Stanbic IBTC, ARM Investment, AXA, First Bank, Quest, the rest of them. You can also buy things through them. But you can buy Nigerians mutual funds, and the rest, money markets through them, and you gain very good percentage on your money. Okay, back to explaining the accounts you can open. Now, I've decided to do this so that you can see the best providers out there. The list on that page, a very long list. These that were shortlisted them to these few ones. Well, Fidelity also, you can also do Fidelity. So you have Trading 212 is the best for ISA. You want to do stock and share ISA, is Trading 212 is the best. If you want to do a SIP account, then do Freetrade is the best. But you can do ISA and SIP together on Freetrade. If you combine them, you maximize the fee that you are paying here. Because if you do SIP alone here, you still pay £12 on a monthly basis for their platform. Here, you don't pay anything at all. That makes it the very best company that you can open your ISA with. Here, you pay £5 for ISA account, you pay £11 for SIP account. When you pay £12, you can have both of them on Freetrade. The reason why these two are the best is because they offer fractional shares. Fractional shares are offered on them. What are fractional shares? You are allowed to buy a small bit of every company. Okay, you're allowed to buy a small bit of every company, £1 or £1 or £2 or whatever pound it is from every company. Let me show us what I mean by that. So Netflix is 2,200 per share. If you are on HL, Interactive Investor, AJ Bell, you need to save up to 1,200 to buy a single share of Netflix because they don't provide fractional shares. But on this one and this one, with £5 or £1, you can buy Netflix. So that would be 0.000 percentage. You know what I mean? 0.00% of a single share is what you are going to buy. If you want to buy Costco, Costco, where you go buy wholesale products, there is 947 per share. So if you don't use a fractional share investing platform, then you need £900 to buy a single share of Costco. How long will it take you to buy 10 companies? It's going to take you thousands upon thousands of pounds. So, but with fractional investing, you can now buy £1, £2 of any of those companies. And that's why these two apps seems to be my favorite when it comes to stock investing. Okay, but they don't have LISA, for instance. They don't have LISAs. So you are stuck with HL for your LISA. And there's also a way around that. You buy funds with £25, with £50, you can buy funds. Okay, UK shares are very cheap. You can buy them very cheap. If I look at the list of some of the UK shares in this account, for instance, these are in pennies. So anything figure you see here, just move the decimal by 2. Okay, this will be 400 and something, 120. Okay, let's start from the bottom. So this is 82. Lloyds Bank is 82p, for instance, to buy one share of Lloyds Bank. So if you want to buy Lloyds Bank into your LISA, use HL, but you can buy 82p, 88p, 97p, £1, £1.60, £2.10, 17, £2.50. So UK shares are a lot cheaper in price than you will get with some American shares. Some of them are also cheap that you can get as little as maybe £80, $80, $60, $50. A lot of them are very, very expensive. What next? So your choice of company is there. Make your choice for SIP, for LISA, and for the rest of them. Okay. Now, how do you become successful as an investor? You need consistency, you need diversification, you need to do good research and have a conviction before you buy. So don't buy what you don't understand. You need patience, long-term perspective. And this is where I would talk to people. Some people want to double their money very quickly. You go and withdraw their deposit for their mortgage and come and put in store because a store can double within a year. For instance, if I sort by what has happened today, look at this company has done 20% today. I can say because I want 20% of my money, I'm going to pack all my money, put into this company, make 20% within the day and sell it tomorrow. You're going to lose your money. I can bet that with you because that is you gambling. You don't gamble when it comes to stock market. Stock market is not gambling. So you are investing for the long term. You don't try to play or time the market. When you try to play or time the market, you will fall short. You will lose money because market goes up and down, all the time. So you get caught out when it is down and you're not able to go and buy your house without money you've been putting aside. So I encourage people to invest for the long term. Have at least 5-year perspective in mind. Not as if you can be profitable within a year or two. You can. If you look at the chart that I showed us a while ago, let me see if I still have it open. If you look at this, if you look at from year 2009 to year 2000, market was on the run, was just going up for more than 10 years. It didn't really look back for 10 years. You could put your money here and say you are out here 6 years. It's just going up for more than 10 years. And it just didn't look back at all. Okay, it could be a time when you enjoy that, but again, it could be a time when it's down, up, down, up, down. Within since coronavirus and now it's been up and down, but we know it's still up on the overall, but you can see some movement there. So what am I trying to say is that be patient, have long-term perspective when you are investing. Now, some will ask, how do I now earn passive income? You have passive income through dividend. What I don't like people doing is that you've made money this year, you are selling the money and spending the money tomorrow or next year. Build your portfolio to a certain size before you now start withdrawing from it. Okay, build it for 5 years, and then you can now start the day you need 500, you need 1,000. You can start, but build it substantially to a very good level before you start withdrawing from your portfolio. Avoid risk management is very important. Avoid head mentality, and this again I will emphasize the fact that people just follow anybody on TikTok, on social media. This is what people are buying. You go and put your money into it without you having done your research or having a conviction about it. You're going to lose your money. Do not follow the crowd. He said, this means don't follow the crowd, and then don't get greedy. Don't go for speculative. Don't go for things that you think will double, and then you get yourself burnt along the line. You don't want to do that. Okay, what else do we have to talk about today? I think now I want you to ask me questions. We're coming to the end of the class right now. And so the takeaway here is control, educate yourself, first of all, increase your capacity to earn more money if your income is at the very base rate that is just enough for your rent and some other basic things. Try to use that as a bridge to get into higher income brackets so you can have more disposable income. You can, you're able to invest a bigger amount and then work towards becoming debt-free. The banks, like I've said, they are capitalists. They are selling a product. The product is called credit card, and they must make profit on it. And that profit they make on the back of people who rely on them, to buy things that they might not need at times. Okay, let's live within our means. Very, very important. They are foundational principles when it comes to us building wealth. Control where your money goes. Have a budget. Okay, then practice delayed gratification. There is a season for everything. Form the habit of paying yourself first. And when you say pay yourself first, it means before in your budget, pay myself is number one line on your budget. It means before you pay your rent, before you pay Tesco and pay Asda and pay everybody, there's an amount, 5%, 10% of your income, 15%, 20%, whatever it is, has gone into an investment account automatically on the first of the month. For instance, mine goes on the first of the month. I can show you an example of an account that I put £500 into on a monthly basis. I have it with 3212. I just opened the account last year. Let me see. If you look at this account, you come to the activity here, history, transactions. You can see this account gets 400, then £500 on a monthly basis on the first of the month. Before you say Jack Robinson, first of the month, the money is out of my account. It's gone to where it's going to go to. And that is the first thing I do. It goes automatically. I don't have to do it manually. I've set up a standing order that first of the month, this money should leave my account and go into this investment account. And if you look at this account, see in the last 1 year, it's giving me a return of 35% within a year. In 3 months, it's giving me 13% in 3 months. And then it's giving me 35% in a year. And that is the power of investing. You can't get that in any savings account. Okay. So pay yourself first. Automate, like I said, automate. Giving purpose to your money should be automated. That money is coming out of your account, whether you like it or not, it's gone. And then you can now live on the rest based on your budget. Then invest consistently and strategically. Do not compare your progress with others. Avoid anxiety. And that's very, very important. That don't go at your pace. Have a budget, go at your pace, and don't compare your progress with other people's progress. And that also includes your lifestyle. Don't want to live the lifestyle of Mr. Jones next door to you. That also will apply to investing. Go at your own pace when it comes to investing. Then don't follow the crowd. And then, of course, enjoy yourself within what your budget can afford. And so I'll move on to the next thing is the masterclass coming on the 27th. So I have a masterclass coming on. I believe you've been blessed today. I believe you've gained 1 or 2 things today. But we talk about those accounts. You've seen an example of an account that I've shown you here. Okay, I've shown you an account here. You can see the return on that account. I can show you another account, and you can see return on that account. Let me see. How do I log out from here? I don't even know how to log out again. Okay, if you look at that, you can see the return on that account. If you want to know what to put into your account, so I'm going to give us, and I say I give, okay, this is an account also I put £500 into. If you look at that also is done in the last, it's done 25% in the last 1 year. Okay, that one has done slightly better than this. This is done 25% in the last 1 year, which I think is very, very decent. We simulated with 10% if you can remember. So to know what do I have in this account under holdings that is giving me this kind of return, those are the things you learn in masterclass. Now I can't make you an investor in 2 hours. I wish I could. Honestly, I would truly do it, but for masterclass takes about 9 to 12 hours to deliver. Now it's going to be on a Saturday. 5 hours on a Saturday is when we start, and thereafter on Tuesday of the following week, on Thursday of the following week, 2 hours, we do the mentoring. Another 2 hours, that 4 hours that week. We can't finish that 4 hours, do another 2 hours, another 2 hours, another 4 hours. That's already about 13, 14 hours that we are going to spend on this. And so time is money for me also. And that's why I charge a token of £150 to attend my masterclass. Now, what are you going to get from the masterclass? You will participate in 250K Good Future Challenge, which you can register for here. And then you choose your targets. Choose the year, choose your target, and I will tell you what to do to achieve that target. That's my job as a coach. I will tell you, if you say my target is okay, in the next 5 years I want to achieve, or next 10 years I want to achieve, the next 6 years I want to achieve so amount. I will now tell you what to do to get there. Or what I want is dividend. I just want income. I'll tell you how to build your portfolio to be a dividend portfolio. What I want is growth. I will tell you what to put in that portfolio to give you a growth portfolio. Okay? How do I manage my risk? It's my job to tell you what you need to mix together to be able to reduce your risk to a minimal level based on your risk appetite. And so you're going to get all of that. And then I'm going to add you to a group, a Discord group where we have people who have gone through the master plan. That is where the mentoring happens. So Discord group is where the mentoring happens. If I open the Discord, you see people who are already in Discord, who are already part of that group. They've gone through this class. Can see about how many people here, about 61 people offline, 1, 2, 3, 4. So about 60 something people who've gone through the master class. You'll be added to that group where the mentoring will continue, where keep putting in tips once in a while that will benefit you. And then from there, you can chat with me personally and we can talk about what is going on with your portfolio. So at the end of what do you get? At the end of the 2-3 weeks, you have a ready-made portfolio that you can start putting money into. And that's the only work you are going to do. The 2-3 weeks training is the work you are going to do. After that, you don't need to do anything again. For the next 2, 3, 4 years, just send money into the account. The system will automatically invest the money for you. You don't even need to lift a finger again once you've selected what will be in your portfolio. And then we do that together. I will teach you how to do it. And then when you do it, I will say, okay, if I were to be in your shoes, maybe this is what I'm going to pick. And then you put into your account, automate your standing order, automate your investing. The platform will let you automate your investing. If you distribute the money for you automatically, you don't need to lift a finger again for years to come. And that is the beauty of this. And so it's on the 27th of September on a Saturday, starting 10 a.m. If you're interested in that, go to my website where you register from. That's ibwfg.com. And then click on either the advanced class or on the 250K challenge. Click on that, and that will bring you to the Zoom page where you can register. If you register here, you pay through PayPal. You're going to pay through PayPal. But if you don't want to use PayPal to pay, if you don't have PayPal, you can pay into my account and then drop me a text that you register for the master class, and I will register you manually as against automatic on Zoom, manually as against registration automatically here. Okay, so putting questions. I want to answer our questions. Putting questions, I would, instead I've been a bad teacher or you are a very good student. If you don't have questions, is one of the two. So should I take it that you've been very good students and you are able to comprehend all what I've said? And if you want a one-to-one coaching, is 495. That means for you, your spouse, and your children, I will take you through at your own convenience. So in case that date is not convenient for you, you want to give me a date, a Saturday for me to put you through, or maybe not a Saturday, maybe in the evenings, maybe 2, 3, 4 evenings to put you through on one-to-one with your spouse, then the fee is 495 for one-to-one portfolio builder session. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to build portfolio for you and your family, and then you just automate your investing into it. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I've been talking for almost 2 hours now, so let me shut up, and anyone can, or what do you think about the training, your feedback, your questions? Okay, there's something in the chat, Q&A. Okay, would you be able to tell us good companies we can invest in? Yes. Anonymous attendee, that the answer is yes. And your question was anonymous. Yes, the answer is yes. That work will happen in the master class. Then in the master class, you have a set of company, 15 to 20 companies that you can invest in. I've invested in over 100 companies. Okay, but from the hundreds that over 100 and something about 20 something funds and about over 100 whatever that I've invested in. From there, you will be able to invest in about 15 to 20. That's what I recommend you start with. So at the end of the master class, you have a list of the companies you want to invest in. Okay, I think, do I have answered your question? If not, you can put through another question. Okay, another question here. Thank you very much. You are welcome, sir. Okay, any other question, or do you want clarification in any of the things I've gone through for us? If so, please let me know. And if you think this has really gone over your head and you don't even know the question to ask, you are welcome. Thank you very much. Any other question in that company? No. So if you think this has gone over your head and you didn't grab this, I'm going to repeat this again. Okay, I'm going to repeat this again next month, and then you can go and watch this again on YouTube, and that will give you a kind of better understanding. If you take your time to pause and write things down and go through this again, you will be able to understand it a lot better. And then my phone number is on the website, and then you can reach out to me if you have questions. I think you should have my phone number there on the website, and then you can just ping me, drop me a note. My phone number is down here in the contact details, or drop me email here, and then I will be able to answer I'll be able to clarify things you want to ask. I'll be able to clarify you are welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so in the absence of questions, we will call it a day, and I will upload this either today or today, likely, or by tomorrow. I'll upload it. So the website you're going to go to is the YouTube channel we go to is youtube.com/ibwfg.com, or just search for ibwfg.com, and then you come to videos, and you are going to see some of the videos here that you can watch. So the video is going to be something at the top here that you can watch, and then you'll be able to. So I'll put that link in the chat also. We can copy that link in the chat, and then you can visit and watch the video all over again if you want to. Okay, thank you very much for coming. I'll stop sharing my screen now. So it's nice having you join me or spend your time with me this evening. You have a wonderful evening, and I hope to see you either in one of these training next month, or in the master class, or you ping me as required. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful evening. Okay, take care. Oh, any other question there? No. Okay, see ya. Take care. Thank you. You're welcome. Good night. Yeah, God bless.